and good morning. Welcome to Path Days, our first virtual Path Days at CCRI. And this session is University of Rhode Island transfer session for students in Arts and Humanities. We are recording this session, just to be aware, and it will become part of our on-demand library as we go forward. If you could please keep yourselves on mute, and I'm going to turn it over to Victor Silva, who's joining us from URI. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Jessica. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you folks. And we're going to pull up a presentation here just to talk a little bit about, and I can, I'll explain a little bit more here in a second. But my name is Victor Silva. I am the transfer counselor here at the, excuse me, of course, technology, right? All right, so I'm the transfer counselor here at the university. I work with students that are transferring from obviously community college, the Community College of Rhode Island, and also other four-year institutions. So anyone interested in potentially leaving their current institution, you know, whether it's completing their associate's degree or, you know, from a four-year institution if they've not necessarily completed their associate's degree but are looking for a change in their education, whether it be major or situation or for, you know, a particular program. So with that being said, University of Rhode Island, I know if you're maybe at the Community College of Rhode Island and you're a Rhode Islander, some of these things, you know, might be a little bit close to home to you, but just to see them again, you know, we're 10 to 15 minutes away from the beaches. We're ranked as a #3 best value school, one of the 30 most beautiful coastal college campuses in the nation. Driving distance to Providence, Newport, Boston, New York, and we're considered a medium-sized university. So we're about 14,000 students, a little bit closer to the 15,000, and we have 2,000 graduate students. So we are the Rhode Island's flagship public research university. Our campus facts, about 53% of our students are in-state, and 47%, excuse me, are out-of-state and international students. So we have a wide breadth of diversity on campus as far as where students are from, and even throughout the state. So student body represented about 48 states, 76 nations, and 25% of our incoming first-year students self-identify as students of color. And that's also, you know, a number that's associated to transfer. When we say first year, it's your first year with us. Student-to-faculty ratio, about 16:1. 85% of our faculty have doctoral or terminal degrees, meaning they are experts in the field that you're looking to study. And then 76% of our classes have fewer than 30 students. So while we might seem like a larger institution, even though we're classified as a medium institution, you know, you're still going to get that close-knit feeling within your majors, you know, that you have plenty of support from your faculty, classmates, and then, you know, folks on campus. Housing and residential life. This question does come up, especially for folks from CCRI, you know, depending upon where you're from the state or if you're looking for a traditional college experience. We do offer on-campus housing for transfer students. So as a transfer student too, you're not required to live on campus. So if that's a concern for someone, you can definitely commute. And we also have a lot of students that live in the area. So they might go what we call down the line, living in one of the beach houses in the area that folks usually rent out to students during the year and then commute to campus. So our academics, I know we're focused here on our pathways of humanities, arts and sciences, communication, film and media, but just to kind of give you an idea of what we, you know, what also is available to you, because sometimes students might be interested in a double major and they might not fall necessarily within their actual college. So most of the programs that we're talking about today exist within the College of Arts and Sciences, but then we also have a College of Health Sciences, a College of Nursing, College of Pharmacy, our Allen Sean Feinstein College of Education and Professional Studies, our College of Business, College of Engineering, and College of Environment and Life Sciences. So as a student at the University of Rhode Island, you are going to have an advisor assigned to you from your particular college. So that's important to know, because if you do have varied interests, you know, they're going to be working with you on developing a path of how you want to create your academic program at the university. Obviously, it can be pretty structured within your particular major, but if you have these other interests, you know, of how do I mix my, you know, my music degree with also having a business minor or doing something as a double major, those folks will be able to help you with your schedule. And then also talking about opportunities that exist afterwards. So as a transfer student, you still have the opportunity to do everything else that a first year student would have when they started at the university. So you can intern, you can study abroad, plenty of research opportunities, getting involved with our leadership program. Our honors program is open to transfer students too. And the nice thing about what we have available to us at the university is, especially when it goes into career services and working with your pathway, 90% of our graduates are employed or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months of graduation, showing that students are either continuing on in their field to actually earn a higher degree before they go out into industry or go out into do field work, or they're employed directly within their industry after graduation. So those are exciting numbers to share with you, and that we're working hard to make sure that there is a return on the investment in the time that you're spending with us and completing your degree and going through that program, and also making sure that your resume provides some marketability for you, so that when you are interviewing for positions in different fields, depending upon your industry or career path, that you do have the background experience that they're looking for, and you've done it within your undergraduate program at the University of Rhode Island. So school spirit, depending upon your interests, we are Division I, NCAA Division I institution, so we compete for most of our programs in the Atlantic 10 Conference. We have 17 club and 30 intramural sports. There's a lot of things going on campus, So we have concerts at the Ryan Center. We have our alumni and family weekend, clubs and organizations on campus, Greek life. So if there is an opportunity for you to be involved, or you've been involved in something, and maybe it's as formal as a club or an organization, or even if you are interested in doing community service, volunteering, all those options are still available to you, and something you can participate while you're a member of the URI community. So getting involved, so we have more than 300 clubs and organizations. What I usually like to say is that if you can't find what you're looking for with us at the university, you're encouraged to start it. So you can go to the Student Senate, petition for your club or organization, your special interest group, and then be potentially recognized on campus, receive a budget, and do some different things. So we have 300 on campus. If for some reason you can't find what you're looking for, you as a student are empowered to go ahead and start your own club, because you know what, there's probably someone that actually has your same interests, and are looking to do something too, and looking to gather and get involved, but maybe they didn't necessarily know how to do it. So we encourage you to put that step forward and be a part of the student involvement. So I think the biggest ones, and we're going to get into, I'm kind of going through this relatively quickly because there's some resources I want you to be able to see on our website. So through your path at the Community College of Rhode Island, for transfer students, you'll probably find out if anyone applied to a four-year institution outside, right from high school, and you're completing the common application, it might have seemed like it was a long, drawn-out process. It's very stressful. I encourage you as much as possible not to be stressed out during this particular process. It is much more user-friendly, and you have significant support from your current campus community at the Community College of Rhode Island, between your advisors, your programs, and even your faculty. So there's plenty of transparency, and for these steps, they are very user-friendly. The transfer common application is much different than the one out of high school. It's less in depth. So as far as these check boxes here, this is how it goes. So we have our completed transfer common application. We require students to submit official high school transcripts if they don't have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree before applying. So anyone without an associate's degree would have to submit their high school transcript. If you're receiving your associate degree, you would just have to apply with your Community College of Rhode Island transcripts and any other university transcripts you might have had in the past if you attended multiple institutions. So official college transcript from all schools attended, and we do have a $65 application fee. So to piggyback this, as far as, depending upon how many credits I have, as a general transfer policy, students with less than 24 credits will need, again, their high school transcript, but they'll need a minimum of a 2.8 GPA to be considered for admission. From 25 credits to 60 without an associate's degree, you would need a minimum of a 2.5 GPA. For an associate's degree, you would need a 2.4 GPA. So again, very, very transparent in the process. This information is also available on our transfer website, and I can share that with everyone. But, you know, through the process, since I am the transfer counselor, at any point, if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. My information will be available to you. And I do one-on-one advising too for the application process. So students, you know, if they are confused about the common application, they haven't done it before, you know, you can definitely reach out and get your questions answered. And then this note here at the bottom, credit evaluations are performed after admission. So the nice thing about being at the Community College of Rhode Island is that we are articulated, meaning we have, we've gone through each curriculum at both institutions, and we provided transfer equivalencies to you to review. And I'll show you where you can access that on our website and make sense of the classes that you're taking in your pathway now and how that can relate to what transfers over here at the University of Rhode Island. Our spring application deadline, so if anyone's close to completing their degree and want to attend in spring, December 15th. And then for fall, so fall 2021, if that's going to apply to you as a potential entry term, June 1st is the deadline. So financial aid, and we'll talk about merit scholarships in a second. On the left-hand side, obviously, you know, we'll be considering the Rhode Island resident numbers. If, you know, we do have some out-of-state students that are attending URI, CCRI, excuse me, you can see the figures there, but then we also have what are called regional majors. So depending upon where you're from in New England, we do offer some discounted tuition rates depending upon majors. But to generally stick with the Rhode Island side, our approximate tuition and fees for this year, you know, we'll be releasing, or this coming academic year, I should say, for the 21-22 year, as of right now, 15,000, average room and board about 13,000 with a total of 28. As a transfer student, you're still eligible for financial aid. So if you're applying for financial aid at the Community College of Rhode Island, you can definitely do that at URI as well. So you would add especially for this year, you can go back and add our school code to your current FAFSA. This way that information is transferred over to us if you're applying to one of these terms coming up. But if you're applying for fall or terms afterwards, you would need to complete a new FAFSA for that academic year. And you can see the priority financial aid deadline is March 1st, but it's something that you should be able to go into now. And then we have our enrollment and housing deposit due date. So you see that as May 1st, and you just saw on the other slide that June 1st is the application deadline for fall. So with transfer students, there's obviously some wiggle room because we have that extended deadline for the application. But for those folks that are accepted prior to May 1st, we really would like to have an idea of who's going to be enrolling at the university by that time. If you need extensions, you just contact the office, contact me, and we'll work hand in hand in regards to your specific situation and your potential enrollment. So merit scholarships. For transfer students, a minimum of 24 transferable college credits and a minimum GPA of a 3.3 to be considered for merit scholarships at the university. For those folks that might have received it, or it might be coming up depending upon how many credits you have and how well you're doing. If you get an opportunity to join Phi Theta Kappa, the Community College Honor Society, I would definitely recommend it because there's opportunity for additional merit scholarships being a member of Phi Theta Kappa, PTK, the short form for it. So you're definitely considered for merit scholarships, and there's no additional application for merit scholarships. So you would apply to the university, we review your file for a decision, and at that same time we're reviewing your file for decision, we'll make a decision on merit scholarships as well. So you get all that information up front with your acceptance letter. And then this is an important page because especially now in a virtual world that we're living in, as far as feeling that connection to the institution, depending upon when you're transferring, and making sure that you're getting as much information as possible. Obviously, for me in admissions, I can give you as much information as you need as far as the process and making sure you're on, following the correct timeline. But we're also offering virtual campus tours. Like I said, counselor meetings with myself. We also have student chats, so they're student directed. So if you want to have a perspective of what it's like to be a student at URI, whether it's a commuter student living on campus, these are well staffed by a variety of different students in different situations, that they can answer your questions. Similar to how this is available on on-demand recording, we're going to have different information sessions. Some are going to be specific to your majors too. And then we do have open houses. So our next open house wouldn't be until spring, but there's plenty of these shorter programs and program specific, and when I say program, major specific opportunities that you can participate in to get more information. And I also host transfer chats on Fridays. So from the same website, you can actually join a chat with me on Fridays. They're typically from 3 to 4. And if you have any questions, or you just feel free to email me. And again, you'll have my contact information so we can keep in touch. So a couple of things I want to show you outside of the presentation. And how am I doing on time? All right, I'm trying to be as succinct as possible. So I want to take you to our transfer admission page. The easiest way you can find this is just going through Google and typing in URI transfer admission, and it'll take you to this page. And this has everything you need on it as far as application deadlines. The process, again, we have a link directly to the common application. Some helpful ideas as far as before you're applying, and a link to our virtual tour, our transfer requirements, which I discussed briefly, talking about other credit that you might have from high school, a link to majors, and then again, a reminder of the application process and what to expect after applying. So a couple things. For the programs we're talking about today, within the humanities, arts and sciences, media, communications, and film, all of those programs can be found under the College of Arts and Sciences. So they break them up depending upon your interest. I feel like this is a pretty helpful way to do it. And then as you're researching these different opportunities, you can click on communication studies, for instance, It'll give you an overview of the program, so you get an idea of what our curriculum actually looks like and the focuses that it has, and then what's unique to the college. But also a nice part too is the curriculum. So talking about the classes that you're actually going to be taking at the university. And the reason I bring that up is to talk about the articulation. So under curriculum, there's this opportunity to review curriculum sheets. And again, if I need to review this at some point with you folks, I'm happy to do it. But you're going to go by major here, and we're going to go to our communication studies. So you can actually see, similar to what you would have in your course catalogs, of what the actual layout of the classes is. So this might not make too much sense at first because it's, you're going through our numbering system, coming from yours.
But again, Victor?
Yes.
Can you do a new share? Because we still see.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, but I did put the link to the transfer website in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, John.
Sorry about that, John. Okay, is it on now?
Yes, you're set now.
Okay, great. Thank you. So when I click here, you should be able to see it now. And again, if you can't, I apologize for that. But this is the curriculum sheet that students follow, so the actual degree program. And this is available for all majors. So again, going through this, you can see what are major requirements, general education requirements, credit requirements. And again, pretty in depth at this point. But what's helpful is when you start going through your classes, you can actually go to and the easiest way to find this, again, I Google a lot to find on our website, but is URI TES, and this is available too on your CCRI webpage. You can find the test link there, but to ours, it's going to pull up the screen and everything's listed alphabetically. So for the Community College of Rhode Island, we're going to see, and it's actually on the 3rd page. So when I get to Community College of Rhode Island, you have this list here of all the classes, pretty much all the classes at CCRI and what they equal at the University of Rhode Island. So as you're taking your classes, and obviously your advisors are going to be assisting you with your degree requirements to complete your associate's degree and what transfers and what's best to take, but you have an idea when you go back into this curriculum sheet, say, okay, look at all the classes that I'm getting credit for. And with that being said, when you apply to the university and you're accepted, your credits do go, or your transcripts do go out to the faculty to be reviewed for official credit. So you will get that anyways. It's not like you have to do this for yourself and on your own. But if you want to stay on top of it and get an idea of what your degree completion looks like with us, this is a good way to do it and also get familiar with our program. So great resources on the website. And then another one that I really that I really enjoy. I might have backed out of it. Nope, it's right here. So for our Center for Career and Experiential Education, pretty similar to the website that you access this from CCRI, we have sections dedicated to each student and their majors. So you can find a little bit more, as you're thinking about it, what particularly could you do with your major, right? So they have these great breakout sections here. So, if you're kind of stuck or you have an idea about how do you put it together, after graduation and turn this into a career, it breaks down each major and what the opportunities are available for you too. And then there's all these other resources outside too. So if you're interested in careers in nonprofit, if you're interested in theater, within film, within our sports media and communication. So a great resource here to kind of start thinking about the next steps. And the reason I usually bring that up is, when it's a process that you have to follow. You almost have to work backwards, right? So you're thinking about the end goal and then what in between has to happen in order for you to receive that. So you're starting off at Community College of Rhode Island, going through this pathway program to receive your associates, and then after transferring to the University of Rhode Island to receive your bachelor's degree. And then at that point, you have to continue on for another degree, or you're going out into your respective field or in industry. So working backwards, thinking about all the things that have to happen in between these resources and the resources you have on your own website at the Community College of Rhode Island, it really gets those creative gears going. And then you can start thinking about, talking to your faculty as a resource. So a lot of them have been in your particular field too, and have some networking opportunities, know folks that are still working in the field. So definitely make use of the folks that are around you, your instructors, and also your advisors to help get you to your end goal. So in trying to be as considerate of time as possible and leave some time open for questions, those are the things that I had to go over, but I'm happy to talk about anything specific to you folks that you might be interested in, or if I can point you in the direction of more information. And thank you, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Victor. Feel free to take yourself off mute if you have any questions for Victor, or you're welcome to put them in the chat as well. And while folks are getting their settings straight and maybe typing, Victor, I wanted to ask you a few questions if I could. So what would you think would be the first thing students should do if they're looking to transfer to URI? What's the very first thing as current CCRI students that they should do?
So I would say make the connection. It's never too early to start reaching out to me, even if you're at the beginning of your 2-year period. And, it can be informal conversations. And I like that too. I'm not a control freak, but, it's nice to meet you from the first step to make sure that you are doing things from semester to semester that are going to line yourself up for, success at the university. And success at the university, you're already investing your time and your money to taking classes right at the CCRI and doing the right things, taking transferable credits, working hard on those classes. So in advocating for yourself, making sure that everything you're doing during this time is going to help you in the next step. So with the appropriate GPA, with the appropriate amount of transferable courses, and you can have some reassurance by working with the institution that you would plan on transferring to. So we work together as institutions. There's a lot of collaboration. There's plenty of times where your advisors actually contact me, sometimes when you're in the room with them for advising, just to have the conversation of what we should do. So don't be shy. You don't have to wait until, you start applying to the university. You can reach out beforehand. And then also, again, during your classes, it's just working as hard as possible. I know I gave you your GPA minimums, but I would like you to work as hard as possible to have the best GPA for yourself, because then there's the financial benefits and merit scholarships. So definitely reach out, I think would be the first step, so we can talk about your aspirations, what you're looking to do, and how we can get you here to URI.
Thank you very much, Victor. Do we have any other questions from anyone else in the room right now?
Jessica, is it okay if I put my link to my one-on-one meetings in the chat?
Absolutely, please do. Now I'm just going to share our ending screen here while we're finishing up the session, and while Victor's adding that, I want to thank you all for coming and let you know that Victor is putting his contact information in the chat right now, and you're welcome to get in touch with him if you also use that transfer link that we posted a little bit earlier, web.uri.edu/admissions/transfer. And then you'll be able to connect with Victor and his team in admissions. And also, if you'd like to learn more about the academic and career paths at CCRI, you can visit our website at ccri.edu/pathways. And within those pages, you will learn about all of our JAA programs, which is the joint admissions agreements that we have with URI and other colleges in the area. And I'd also like to remind you to join us at the virtual job fair hosted on Handshake on Thursday, November 12th, 2020. And that's all day long from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can learn about careers and learn about how you can make the path through CCRI and either into a career right from CCRI or moving on to URI and then into the career world. All right. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Victor, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It really was a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the afternoon.
All right, thank you. Everyone have a great day.